Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I don't have internet access right now, so I can't promise you'll see this Thursday morning. Hopefully you will see it Thursday afternoon or maybe Thursday evening or maybe Friday morning. We're here on Trident in a domination match. I decided to do a video on the unique ship in the Super B crate or the Super 5 crate. Shinonome, it is a Japanese premium destroyer. It was not my choice based on my look at history of what destroyer they should have put forth. I think they should have put forth a different destroyer called Shinonome, which had the first dual-purpose guns in naval history, at least on a destroyer. But what do I know? I'm just some guy. All right, so we're moving out in Shinonome. It is your stereotypical Japanese torpedo boat. Shinonome doesn't have great concealment. It has okay concealment. I'm using Reizo Tanaka. He is fully maxed. But as you can see, our concealment is 5.1 km. So that's not great. Normally, I would say a Japanese sneaky torpedo boat has 5 km or under. Shinonome does not. But the key thing is you get your torpedoes in action as early and as often as possible. We are avoiding going into the cap for right now, simply because I don't want anyone radaring me. The enemy team has 3 German destroyers, if I'm recalling correctly, and I think most, if not all of them, have sonar at this level. So I'm trying not to get sonar or radar. Because the cruiser got absolutely smashed there, I decided to move in to the cap circle, and I pretty much wrote that guy off. Like, yep, his night's over. Aside from a few salvos here and there, he has no health left. All right, there is a destroyer Z31, pardon me, and I'm just going to launch some torpedoes, anticipating he might go in that area. He's probably going to back out of the cap here or move forward out of the cap. I will put another set of torpedoes into the smoke screen in the last known position of that cruiser in case he decides to stay right where he was in the smoke screen, which is entirely possible. All right, so the enemy captured Bravo. That makes me quite aware that they could push into Charlie, but there's another destroyer in between myself and Bravo. So I'm just going to stay right where I'm at and see what develops. We are capturing Charlie at this point. And so all is right with the world. There is that cruiser, La Galissoniere. He is running for cover around the corner of the island. But he is definitely a one shot. He may even be a one shell, which is why I was encouraging, like, hey, please shoot at this guy. I think I encouraged. Anyway, solo base cap. Looking up at the mini map, you see kind of a line of enemy red team battleships. So we're going to turn and try to get some torpedoes out on them. Z31 is spotted. I guess he was shooting his guns in the distance, and someone else spotted him. So again, I'm not trying to break concealment. I'm not trying to get spotted. I'm just trying to get into a location where I can put my torpedoes out. I believe Shinonome's torpedo range is 8 kilometers. And so if my detectability is 5.1, that gives me a window, a stealth launch window for my torpedoes of 2.9 kilometers. That's range minus detectability on the surface. So that is the area in which I can operate and get my torpedoes off. You can see I'm just measuring distances to different enemy ships, using my indicator to see how far away they are. All right, so I think there was a little bit of a I kill you, you kill me at the same time. So we lost a battleship. The enemy team lost one of their German destroyers. That's good for us. I launched some torps there at that, I think it's a Japanese battleship. But Z31 is moving back in. He's at 5.1 km now. I am trying to get torps off. I'm still putting out my smoke. I'm going to turn back, but I'm imagining, and he does spot me right there. Thankfully, he is too busy to keep his eye on me. And the Fuso, our torpedoes are getting closer. We're going to engage Z-31 with our guns since we have a smoke screen in between us and him. Meanwhile, torpedo strike on the Fuso. And looks like that flooding is happening. Meanwhile, Z-31, I guess he wants me and my teammates to just keep shooting at him until he's dead. So I will keep shooting at him. I've got all 3 turrets on target now, safely in my smoke screen. And I don't know what happened to his sonar. Did he use it? Did he not use it? Did he forget he had it? I don't know. I don't know what happened to the sonar, but he didn't use it. All right, I'm going to move out of the smoke screen because I'm not doing anyone any good there. And I'm going to move to get an angle on Shinonome, which is a particularly vulnerable ship to torpedoes, in my opinion. I am going to smoke or torp into the smoke. If that's Z-31, hopefully he will run into those. So 2 sets of torps at Shinonome, 1 set of torps at Z-31, and now I'm maneuvering for my next torpedo volley. That being said, it looks like the destroyer that was in Bravo from the red team moved into Alpha, so I'm proceeding with relative impunity out here. I'm just trying to get a little operating room. There's the Z-31. It looks like our torpedoes are going to miss him. And just gauging the other battleships out here. Shinonome, on the other hand, he dodges the first set and he dodges the second set. But I have a quick reload on this ship. And I advise you, people who either have or are going to have Shinonome from the Super 5 or Super V crate, to use that torpedo reload to your benefit. So I'm going to launch 2 sets at Shinonome and let those run. And there is the Fuso that we damaged earlier. Z-31 is out of my detection range. So I'm going to launch a 3rd set at Shinonome because I didn't have any other targets in range. Now, Shinonome dodged before. He is going to take all 3 this first time. And then I think he's going to take 2 out of the second set. And he has just a little sliver of health left. And somebody else finishes him off. All right, so we get a California, we got a Bayern, and we've got the Fuso. So I prioritize wounded ships first in this kind of scenario. So I'm going to turn and get torps off on the Fuso. Still don't know where that cruiser went to, the Laga, and I do not know where the Z-31 went to. He may be dead. The enemy team has lost 2 destroyers, so I'm presuming Z-31 is dead. So we're going to send 1 set towards Fuso, and then I'm thinking about torping at California, but I will send the 2nd set towards Fuso, which turned out to not really be needed. And then I will get the 3rd set off. But I'm going to bypass the California because of his angle. And I am going to target the Bayern with my 3rd set of torpedoes. Meanwhile, off screen in the background there, Fuso did die with just 2 torp hits, kill number 1. I did not need the 2nd set of torpedoes going his way. And so again, like before, I'm going to come pretty much to a halt in the water, and I want to let my torpedoes reload. And we only have about 10 seconds left for Bayern, keeping an eye on California. And I think a lot of times when I torp enemy ships with a destroyer, it's because they forgot there was a destroyer over here. So I think the Bayern forgot I was over here at first. We do get him with a torpedo. I'm going to turn and get some torps off in California. Again, right in my detection. So I'm going to launch a 2nd set, but this was a mistake. I shouldn't have launched these, as you'll see. Meanwhile, looking up at the scoreboard, enemy has 2 caps. We have 1 cap. Enemy has a slight lead that is going to increase over time. And we are tied on ships remaining. So I'm going to try to do a little bit of shooting at Bayern, but unfortunately, it appears everybody on my team is behind me. So there really isn't any spotting of the Bayern. So I'm going to turn to the California, who looks like he turned away and is running away. So then I'm going to go back over to Bayern and launch a set right as he's going out of range. And I just thought, again, it was a better target than the California, although the California is pretty thick, and maybe the spread of my torpedoes wouldn't be wide enough for him to slip through that. I just chose the Bayern because I thought it was a better target. All right, so we're moving out here. We're going to try to circle around and get another set out. Bayern looks like he's going to skim the side of the island there, so I changed my targeting appropriately. And here is the third destroyer, another T-61. I am just turning away at this point. I'm hoping he runs into some torpedoes. His salvos haven't been especially accurate at this time. Launched again on the California. There's a good salvo, knocks out my rudder or propeller, and I'm going to shoot back for the first time because I don't have any smoke screens left, and there is the high caliber metal. But I have a confession as I'm shooting here more at the T-61. My match is close to being over. And we just get damaged again. Torpedoes and propulsion. The Z-61 is going into a smoke. I'm turning to try to get torps off on the smoke screen. And we get damaged again. And my damage con is a long ways away, relatively speaking. He's continuing to shoot. Second set of torps off on California. California kills me. So we're going to watch these torpedoes run, but I have a true confession to make that I lost sight of the objective. And when you are in the binocular view, figuratively speaking, you've got to remember to pull back out of the binocular view and look at the big picture. Those torpedoes are going to miss. The torpedoes towards the other T-61 are going to miss. But the enemy has 2 cap circles. And as we watch the rest of this battle play out, and I am going to show it through to the end, perhaps if I had turned back and gone into Bravo and flipped Bravo, I'm not saying I would have beaten T-61 in a gun battle. Clearly I did not. But perhaps if I hadn't lost sight of the objective, because I was figuratively in the binocular view, in the way I was fighting that match, I was hunting for torpedo strikes. And it all happens to everybody sooner or later, but this was kind of really bittersweet for me here. I had a good game personally. I think I did a great job at showing what Shinonome is good at and what Shinonome is not good at, which is pretty much anything with guns or being spotted or shooting down airplanes, which we didn't have to do because there wasn't a carrier in this match. But I lost sight of the true objective of the domination match, which is to capture the cap circles. So what's going to happen is this Prinz Heinrich and the other battleship, which I think is a Bayern, they get 1 kill, and further on down the road here, they're going to kill this other ship. But at the end of the day, if you remember back in the beginning of the match, that Laga, who got smashed and probably had 100 hit points left and was last seen there on the minimap going around the corner of the island in the upper right-hand corner of the map. That guy may have gone to the edge of the map and then gone to take a dump or something, or eat lunch or whatever. That guy's going to win them the game because he's still alive, because nobody shot at him when he was a 1-shell kill. And that Laga is probably laughing his ass off when he comes back to this game, thinking, how did I win with 2 battleships left on the blue team because no one tried to hunt him down. And whether he's behind that island, right behind the ship in the middle of the screen, or the other island on the far right hand side of the screen, it doesn't really matter because I lost sight of the objective. And that could have ended up this match being a win. I probably wouldn't have gotten a high caliber medal and 100,000 damage, but you've got to pull yourself out of the binocular view, especially when you're in a scenario with a lot of targets, to remember, what kind of match am I fighting? Are we winning that match? And ironically enough, the match right before this was the domination match, and I captured the flag to win the match for our team. So here we are on the defeat screen. High caliber medal, 110,863 total damage, 9 torpedo strikes, 1 kill, 1 solo base cap, and 1 loss that could have and should have been averted by the destroyer player. So don't lose sight of the objective, folks. Finishing top of the board means nothing. The worst player and worst performance on the other team still won. And in a match like this, capture the cap circles, or if you're in a battleship, you got to make sure you're in a position to kill that enemy ship. Thanks for watching.